Sure guys, welcome to today's video. I'll be showing you how to make an Afro beat with vocals on it. So this is gonna sound more like these commercial songs that you know, the likes of Prince KB, Fetch Your Life. So it's gonna be an Afro song, but then with vocals on it. I'm gonna show you how to do it. But then to do this, I'll be reviewing a project that I have polished in order to make this video short. This is a song that I've completed. It's 100% complete, and I'm gonna release it hopefully by the last week of July. It's titled All I Feel, featuring Equinox. Shout out to Equinox. This is a vocalist from Australia. He does dubstep and hip-hop. So yeah, I'm grateful to be having him as a vocalist on this song, All I Feel. So what I'll do first is I'll play the song on this project file. I actually have two project files open, one with the working of the project, and this other one is just a WAV file of the full song. So the reason why I'm gonna play it here is not to abuse so much of my PC memory. It's a thing, like WAV files actually save a lot of your PC memory. So let me play it on this side first, and then I'll show you how I achieved it on that other side. If I play it on that other side, it's just gonna glitch. So let's start it off around here, the 31st bar. So that's the part where the full vocals come in, around the 48th bar. So that's the main idea of the song. Now I'm gonna break it down to you step by step what I did in order to achieve this beat. So the first thing obviously to do is match the BPM of your vocals with the BPM of your song, to avoid cases where your vocals is too slow and then your song is too ahead. They will just be out of sync. So to do that, you have to go to right click on your vocals, then go to fit tempo, then select your range, which is typically 100 to 200 for a house song. So now that you've matched the BPM of the vocals to the BPM of the song, now they're playing at the same pace, at the same speed, but then that does not mean that they'll be in key. So the song has to be in the same key as the vocals. So how do you find out the key that the vocals are playing in? I'm sure there's an easier way to figure out, but then I did it manually, so I'll show you how I did it.
All I feel cannot describe what's going on in my life.
So what happened is, when I made this song, I played the vocals at this point that I'm showing you right now. So I played that section, and then I made a pattern clip. That was pattern 29, as you can see here. So let me just activate it now. So this was not the final progression that I was gonna use for the song, but then I just made this in order to figure out the key that the vocals are playing in. So I'm gonna play these pattern together with the vocals.
All I feel cannot describe what's going on in my life.
So that just gives me a note that plays in key with the vocals. Then I'll figure out everything with the vocals switched off. Anything that I'm gonna make to this beat that is in key with this will automatically be in key with that. I'm not sure if that's right, but then in this case it worked out. So for me to figure out this, I had to let me just show you how I did it. So as a vocal is playing, let's just pretend I don't have this key.
All I feel.
I have to find a root note that will match perfectly with this vocal.
All I feel. All I feel. All I feel. All I feel.
So for me, it was just a game of trial and error, trying to paste a root note that will sound very much smooth with the vocal. And then for me, it happened to be B4. Yes, there are other root notes that you can play that will be in key with the vocals, but then it all depends with what you are feeling at that point and what you want to go for. And then for me, it was B4.
All I feel cannot describe what's going on.
So what happens basically is when you paste more than 3 notes on your piano roll, it then highlights notes that are in key with them. So those are called ghost notes. In order to activate that, you need to go to your tools, helpers actually, and then go to scale highlighting and then go to automatic. If it's on black notes or default, it changes the grade notes. I don't know in what format it changes them, so I don't know how to use that one. So I just go to automatic, and I know that all of the grade notes are my ghost notes. So I'm gonna be playing around those notes because those are the notes that I know are in key. So the reason why I do this for myself is because I know that I'm not a piano player. I don't know music theory or chord progression into detail, so I use this as a guide, also. But then the main guide of all of this is your ear. So your ear can tell you whether something is not appealing or not. So if something does not sound right, even though the ghost notes are telling me that it does, then I won't play it. So because of that, in some cases you might find that you paste your note here, which is in the ghost notes, but then it sounds slightly off key. That's when you'll be then tempted to shift it up or down, where the note shaded there is black, of which the PC is saying it's off key, but then when it sounds to your ear, it sounds in key. So yeah, so I had to figure out those notes by myself. Let me just undo everything. Go back to where I was. All right. And then after figuring that out, I then had to come up with a chord that I'll be playing in. And then in this case, the chord had a root note of D/5. I'm not sure if this was a minor. Yeah, it was a minor chord. It was a minor chord, and then I just added a note below F#5, and then that was it. So after finding your chord, the chord that you'll be playing in, and the notes that are in key with that chord, then you're good to go. So the first thing I did, let me just summarize, I had to find the notes that are in key with the vocal. 3 notes are enough. Just find 3 notes that go and blend smoothly with the vocals. After finding those 3 notes, the FL Studio will then highlight your ghost notes. So you then find a chord that fits in those ghost notes that sounds okay to you. So that will be the chord of the song, the main key of the song. So one other thing that I avoided doing, which in most cases it has to be there, it has to be done that way, is having variation in your chord progression. So for me, in this case, I didn't have any variation in my chord progression. I just stick to this one chord. It was D minor. D minor, it's written there, it's D minor. But then you have to have variation in that chord progression. You can't stick to the same thing. But then since I don't know music theory as me, I don't know music theory, I don't know too much about chords, how to do them and all of that stuff, you know. So what I did in order to get away with it, I made variation to my bass line. So it makes me get away with that. So after figuring all of that, the keys and the chord progression, what I then do is start off the normal beat now. So now I pretend as if the beat does not have vocals on it. So I switch off the bass line that I'll be playing in. I just leave in the chords and then I start building in my drum kit. And the drum kit just came in here around on the intro of the song. So that was just how the drum kit was: simple 4-step kick and some shakers. Those are the shakers. So that was just that. It was a simple drum kit. So I had to make use of these plugged sounds from Nexus, just like that. So these are still in the same key as my chord, the chord that I used. The preset was PL Illusionize. I also love using these presets. I do use it in most of my tutorials. And then the bass line that I used first, that the bass line that I showed you in the beginning, there it was the main bass line. This one is the main bass line. This one. But then there was also another secondary bass line, which is this one. So yeah, the bass line there does sound complicated. It was my secondary bass line. So that was the bass line that I was playing before putting in the vocals. So another technique that I made use of is chopping vocals and then putting the segments all over the song. So the thing is, I wanted my vocals to come in at this point. So that's 1 minute 35 seconds into the song. But then I don't want people to wait that long to figure out that it's a song, an Afro house song with vocals in it. So what I do is I make sections of the vocals, I chop, and then I put those sections around here so that people get a glimpse of, oh, okay, the song we're listening to does have vocals. But then I don't want to give them all of it right at the beginning. I just want them to continue listening to the song and then sing to the vocals. So that's what I did, and then I made use of automation to give delay to the vocals. When I'm alone, I close my eyes. So the thing is, when you chop vocals, if you chop vocals and you don't give delay, the last part of the section sounds off because it just goes off. It just goes silent straight after this section. So to get away with that, I make it fade off through delay. When I'm alone, I close my eyes. So it fades off through delay. The other technique that I used, which is also important, is mixing of the vocals. Mixing of the vocals. You have to mix your vocals. So this is when the vocals had no mixing in them. So these are just raw vocals, nothing applied to them.
When I'm alone, I close my eyes.
So that's how they sound dry. So that's actually a term that is used, dry vocals. But then after applying effects, we now call them wet vocals. So you just have to apply effects and mix the vocals. So the first thing I did is apply an EQ to cut the low frequencies of the vocals. So these are the low frequencies. This is where you have your subs and your basses. So I don't want my vocals to have subs and basses because that's meant for my kicks and my bass line. So I cut that off and then just make a minor, a minor tweak over here, and then add a reverb to it. And then the next thing I did is I cloned my vocal. As you can see here, I have this one and then I cloned this one. So I clone the two and then I make one sound on your left ear and then the other one sound on your right ear. As you can see here, it only shows one bar to your left. But then when I turn on the other one, the other one is actually playing on the other side of your your panning. So the two actually now play on both ears altogether, which is the Vox Master. When I'm alone, I close my eyes. As you can see, it's playing on both sides. Now I then applied all of my mixing. So for the second vocal, I applied EQ and then I applied delay and then I applied convolver, then I applied reverb to give it that texture, you know. When I'm alone, I close my eyes. And the next thing that I did, I'm not sure if I did it, but then something that I usually do is I shift either of them to the left or the right to give that time shift or that time delay to them. Just a minor shift. So they're not really playing at the same time. So this one plays in first and then this one follows. So just to give it that minor time shift or time delay. So those are the techniques that I used when coming up with this beat. I will post or announce here when I actually release the full EP that will include this song. So it will be an EP and I'll post the links, and I hope you guys go and listen to and enjoy the EP. Otherwise, thanks for watching and I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and don't forget to share the video. That's it. Cheers guys, I'll catch you on my next video.